Shavua Tov. My name is Yardena Osban. I'm really grateful to have all of you here with us today, tonight, I should say. And I'm really honored to be introducing our speakers this evening who are joining us. We're going to be hearing from Rose Mapendo. I hope many of you were able to share or watch the movie Pushing the Elephant, where we heard Rose's story. Just to share a little bit about Rose for those of you who are unable to see the film, and it will be available after this evening as well. When ethnic violence engulfed the Democratic Republic of the Congo in the late 1990s, Rose Mapendo was imprisoned with her family. She emerged from this experience advocating forgiveness and reconciliation. Today, she's a global activist for peace and reconciliation. Rose has been honored by the White House and in 2009 was named Humanitarian of the Year by the UN High Commissioner for Refugees. In 2012, she founded the Rose Mapendo Foundation, which is committed to empowering widows, women, and children around the world. And then we will also be hearing from Riverdale homegrown talent, Elizabeth Mandel. Elizabeth, obviously, most importantly, is the daughter of Riverdale Minion members, the Mandels. She's the founder and executive director of J Girls Magazine, an online community and magazine written by and for self-identifying Jewish teen girls. She is an accomplished documentary filmmaker, published writer, editor, and community activist. She's built a successful record of using media to raise awareness and create change around social justice, gender, and Jewish community issues. Her films have been broadcast on PBS and screened at festivals around the world. Elizabeth worked for the American Jewish Joint Distribution Committee in Mumbai, India, and has also lived and worked in Japan, Cambodia, and Nepal. Elizabeth is the founding member and trustee of the Harlem Minion. She was raised in Riverdale and is a graduate of SCR Academy, where her 3 daughters are also currently students. So thank you again, everybody, for joining us. The way this evening will work is I ask everyone to stay on mute. At the beginning, we'll hear a conversation between Rose and Elizabeth. And then after about 25 minutes to a half hour, we'll open it up to questions and can make it a little bit more conversational. You can put your questions in the chat. And again, this is part of a series of TRM's Global Journeys. We'll give some more programming updates about that at the conclusion of the meeting. But again, I really just want to say, Rose, we're so honored to have you join us this evening. We're a community of faith, and we know that you're a deeply religious person as well. And Elizabeth, thank you so much also for joining and for bringing Rose's story really to the world through that movie, Pushing the Elephant. So I'll hand it over to the two of you. Thank you.
Okay. So Shavua Tov, everyone. Thank you, Yardena, and thank you all for hosting us. It's so wonderful to see so many familiar and beloved faces here, and it's exciting for me, who know so many of you so well, to be able to share this other very important part of my life. So just very briefly, I met Rose about 14 years ago. We heard, my directing partner, Beth Davenport, and I heard about her story in a very unexpected way. And as soon as we heard the story of this remarkable woman who was just on the cusp of reuniting with Nangabire, we said, this is a movie that has to be made. And we approached Rose. Rose, I don't know if you remember this, but Beth and I approached Rose and we said, we want to make a film about you and about your story and about your relationship with Nangabire and about surviving war and about the work that you're doing now. And she said, why do you want to make it? And why, it's a very deep relationship to embark with a filmmaker and allow them into your home. As you watch the movie, you could see we lived with Rose for some time, and we were there for these very, very important, intimate family moments. And so it's reasonable to ask, well, why should I do this? And what Beth and I said to her was, you have this incredibly important message of peace and reconciliation, and you speak all over the world, and you change people's attitudes and approach to how to cope after a violent and difficult time. And we see how hard you're working, and you can only be in one place at one time. You can only be in one place at one time. And what we hope to do with this film is help you be in an infinite number of places at any time. We want to make this film with the goal of bringing your message and your story to as many people as possible. And I'm forever grateful that Rose said, okay, let's do this. And indeed, the film has been shown in at the World Bank and in refugee camps and in colleges and in, with synagogue groups and church groups, really all over the world, and has helped Rose raise money for her foundation, and has also allowed us to have this very important relationship. So, Rose, after so many years of doing this together, I want to thank you for a decade and a half ago almost, opening your heart and opening your home to me and to Beth. I'm looking forward to this conversation, which we used to do often and we haven't done in a long time. So this is really exciting. So first, thank you, Rose, for being here. And just for our audience, can you just very, very briefly give a little bit of background about what we should know about the civil war that you and your family survived in the Democratic Republic of Congo, including a little bit of cultural and historical context, such as the legacy of Belgian colonialism and how that impacted your country, and why you think the war was so protracted, and why you think that conflict is still ongoing.
Thank you very much for, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. It is an honor for me to be here and to be connected with you again. And I thank you very much to help me to reach many people. As we say, film is pushing the elephant, we cannot do alone. You helping me so much. In the beginning, I did not understand because it was not easy to share the story when you know nothing can change. But thank you for the courage and passion. So, and what people should know, after by 1950s, many Africans try to seek for independence. The plan of Belgium was to keep them until 1980s, but through UN, United Nations and UN, pushing the Belgium give independence. So through that, because they failed not to reach 1980s, they left legacy of division, divided the people in the country, in the communities, because the most issue we have is to look like our morphology, how we look like. So it teaches people in neighborhood, the communities, these people look like this, they are belong to this tribe. They should not be in Congo. Which one is the legacy is affecting the country before even we was born until today? People still fighting because they just not because of what they wrong, or because they say, Banyamulenge, myself, I am a Tutsi, Munyamulenge Congolese. As Elizabeth, you know that. But they say, you are not belong to this country. Our neighbor destroy the city, burned the house. So when they burned the house, you cannot come back because they say, go to where you come from. Those is the legacy from the Belgium. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that that background, Rose. So some of this was explored in the film, but I think it would be wonderful for people to hear about it directly from you. It's really remarkable for many people, including me, when I first met you, to hear about everything that you went through, and that your reaction after going through all of the pain and the horror was to emerge as an advocate for peace and reconciliation. Can you tell us about this process and how you emerged with this kind of perspective?
Thank you very much. And my family and I, after all we went through, I decided to forgive. The day I forgive my enemies, I believe is the day I survive. Not the day I was rescued. And through forgiveness, I received the peace in my heart, which peace I am sharing and teaching other people and teaching the world to the people who have a similar situation what I have been through. Because to be honest, without the forgiveness, there was another way to be me to stand up. And as you say, to the peace and reconciliation, actually, my reconcile, it began when I was in the prison, not when I was already rescued. In the prison, I was try how I can reconcile after I forgive those in my capture. What can I do? That is the reason I named my twins after the enemy who was in charge to kill us in the prison.
Thank you, Rose. I remember hearing this story for the first time and just being so very moved by it. And I know that everybody here was sent the link in advance, but in case you didn't have the opportunity to watch the film, just very, very briefly, the film is a story of Rose enabling her family to survive war in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and her giving birth in the detention camps to the twins who she named after the guards as a gesture of peace and reconciliation, as she just described, bringing 9 children alive out of the Congo to resettle in the United States, and one daughter, Nangabire, who through circumstances had been left behind with grandparents. And the film begins at the point of this daughter, Nangabire, and Rose reuniting in Phoenix after all of these very, very many years apart, and the two of them coming together and rebuilding their relationship after all of those years apart. And interwoven is Rose's activism as someone who survived the horrors of civil war in the Democratic Republic of Congo and emerging as an advocate for peace and reconciliation. And one of my favorite scenes in the film, Rose, is when you're speaking to a group of women about bringing peace and reconciliation and the important role of women. You say that it's the women who will save us, and I'd love to expand on that. In the making of the film, we had hundreds of hours of footage. We can only include 75 of them, so there are all of these other stories and other layers that a conversation like this is an opportunity to explore. So I would love to hear from you, Rose, about your vision of working with women to save your country, and more broadly, women as carving the path for peace and reconciliation in any conflict situation.
Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I'm so happy when it comes to the point of me talking about women. I'm so excited.
Me too.
First of all, if in that this platform, I can see more women more than men in this audit right now. And women are powerful people. I have the privilege to read the Bible. Women, we have the eyes. Nobody have that eyes. I think America have an expression, it's a happy woman, happy mother, happy family. Number one, women go to the family, and the women care for the community. And the women have so strong eyes. When I read the Bible, I can see when Joshua in the Bible, he sent spies to the Jericho to go to look the country, what was going on, if you prepare them. only Rahab, woman who so different. He said, oh, these people is people of God. She was a prostitute, but she did not, this woman, and she asked Joshua, she asked spies, he said, please promise me, if this kindness I did to you, are you going to do same thing to me and my family? This is caring of women. And also I can read the Bible, see Ruth. Ruth, when her husband passed away and her brother-in-law passed away, they left just mother-in-law. I believe Ruth was a Moabite. She had a very strong eyes. She looked at Naomi. Naomi, she was a different. She said, don't seek me to leave you, because where you're going, I will go. Where they will bury you, you will bury me. If anything separate me with you, God punish me even stronger. This is the eyes of a woman. If we have that kind of women, what exactly word can it do? And she has stronger eyes. The family of Naomi did not die. It survived. Ruth come marry with the Jewish like Boaz. So those stories strengthen me. So how women are so strong. And also when I read about Esther, she was in a foreign country. She was a refugee like me. Why cannot I learn from her? Only she went to pray for her family and for community. She went to the king with ignorance. Those are things, this kind of women, if you raise a young girl as a woman, you should be proud. If you are raising it for family, you are raising the stronger one. And I appreciate it for, look, Mother Elizabeth, come on. Look, most women who are doing that. This is really how women are strong. And if in my country, my people, my women can understand from a different tribe, come sit together, fighting for the peace. Yes, it's very easy, like a piece of cake. But when a woman is not easy to change, woman is easy to change a man, but it's not easy to change a woman. When a woman, she wants to do something, she can do it. I know that. I am a woman too. We have a powerful way we can handle things more than men. Most women, they're so mature, more than men. Somehow, I call my husband, was the first child I have. Yeah.
Thank you, Rose. And this actually leads very nicely into the next question, especially with this audience. You know, when you reference all of the women in the Bible, you're speaking to an audience that knows these stories very well too. And when I started to make the film, you know, I had people ask me, friends ask me, you know, what is it about this story? Because on the surface, my life and Rose's life look so very different. And actually, you know, one of the things that we loved talking about when we were making the film is the ways in which, even though it's a very specific story about a specific historical moment told through the eyes of one woman and her family, it's a very, very universal story in many ways. And for me particularly, it resonated very deeply with me, particularly in looking at the relationship between Rose and her daughter Nangabire. It resonated with me very, very deeply as a daughter. And as a mother of daughters. I should note that when we learned about Rose's story, I was about 7 months pregnant with my first daughter. And at the premiere of the film 3 years later, by then I had my second daughter. And now I have 3. So it resonated with me very deeply as a mother and as a daughter, and also as a Jewish person. A story of genocide, a story of being a stranger in a strange land, of figuring out identity, of what lengths we go to preserve our family and to preserve who we are and what we believe in. And this, so we spent time talking about the differences in our lives, but also the many similarities and the way in which Rose's story, even though at first it might seem like it's, about, depending on who's watching it and with his audience, it's about someone from a very different culture with a very different story. But Rose, I would love to hear from you the ways in which you think your story is universal, and your story and what you believe in and what you're looking to bring to the world. How do you see these as universal stories?
Thank you very much. So after all, I've been through in my own country, losing everything, losing my husband, left in prison with pregnant, losing my neighbors, my sibling, my brothers, my sisters, and coming to the foreign country as a survivor, stranger country without speaking language. I believe everyone can get it. If I can do it as a single mama with 10 children, everyone can do it. If Elizabeth, you try, I believe you have many options. And I'm so admire the sacrifice that you did when you are pregnant to come to learn about this story. I believe in this audience can get it easily. If Elizabeth, some people they are ignore, think, oh, I cannot do this. Think, oh, this is not belong to me. No, all together is how we can make a difference. As to tell the world, everybody's responsibility. I did not survive just to be quiet, come to US, eat chicken, gain weight, and sleep. It's not the reason. How other mothers who was killed, left the children behind, husband and wife killed in my presence, see children how die from starvation. The God really saved me just to come to the US, enjoy my family. No, there is many more need me as a mom, not to look, just my children. I believe in this, everyone in this audience. To be honest, we can make an action talk more than a million words. Is it how I look? Thank you.
Thank you. And so just to sum that up a little bit, what I'm hearing from what I'm taking from what you're saying is that everybody's circumstances are different, but we all make decisions in our life about where we want to take action and how, based on our own experiences and our own identities, how we all have the power to create change in the world.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah. And I learned so much of that from you, Rose, also. So I just, again, want to express my gratitude and, the many ways that you changed my life and my thinking. And it was actually incredible to meet you at a time that I was becoming a mother. And to, to learn from your perspective and your actions, what it meant for you to be a mother, and the decisions that you made that about your children and about your family, and how you were able to be this incredible mother to 10 children, but in many ways a mother to a much larger community. So, I feel grateful for that experience every day. So thank you. And I know a little bit about this, but I think that those who are joining us today might be curious to hear. We started the film almost 14 years ago, and we finished it about 10 years ago. And I'd love to hear now about your relationship with Nangabire and what her life is like now in the United States. And I have a couple of photos to show also that I can pull these up while you're speaking if you want to tell a little bit about that.
Yeah, Nangabire actually she come to the Christmas time. Nangabire and her family, her children. She's doing well. She's a wonderful mother. Uh, have a very strong family. Her husband make a connection. It's an amazing to see her how she grew up because, and also how she become. You know how she become. You know I did not raise her. Here she is. Look at my three girls. I have three daughters. One, she's not there. She was at work. So look how beautiful she is. Look at beautiful girls. To see her, not she forgive what she been through. Actually, she tell me, Mom, I forgive you because you teach me how to forgive. Otherwise, it was not easy to me. So she has a wonderful family, and I'm so thankful to see her children. It's amazing.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there
We
they
have a
are.
very good relationship. Very,
And
yeah.
who are can you I'm hoping everybody can see.
Yeah.
Can you see now these children?
Yes, we
Yeah.
Yes, one, his name is Isaac. Another one, his name is Jacob.
And these are Nangabire's boys.
This is a Nangabirisi boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's you want to tell us a little bit about where she's living and her work and just a little bit more about her life now?
Mhm. She's work and also she's a business girl. She built
Yeah.
her home in Rwanda and also she's farming. She's like her husband is making like agriculture. Like they are helping the community for eating like fresh food, like aubergine. Her husband and her, they are doing that for community. Actually, they're very good, active. Also, she's providing like connected with the butcher,
Mm-hmm.
buying a cow, and contribute to the community so they can eat fresh meat, not a meat like have a lot of chemical, you know.
Uh-huh.
That's how she's doing. She's
Wow.
doing it very well. She's a very hard worker woman.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. And then uh, I'd love to hear now a little bit more about the work that you're doing. I have some photos here too, if you want to tell a little bit about your work here.
Yes. Thank you. I believe the legacy of Belgium live with the community. That's why the government did not do anything and the United Nations did not do anything. The Rose Mapendo Foundation, I am trying to do in my best way. This is the women. All those women you saw, you see, they are widows. Their husband was killed. Them when one have one children and the two children, three children, they are widows in the city, in the village. So what can we do without talking like action, as they said, action talk. Many people have been promises, say, making peace. But how can you make a peace with somebody who's dying with starvation? How can you tell somebody to make a peace when the person does not have even a place to live? That's why Rosa Mapendo Foundation, to be honest, as we are pushing the elephant, is named like by that, but many people like you, Elizabeth, who are helping me to build this community, is different people from a different tribe. So that's why I am at that place. I'm trying to make it like a small restaurant so women can learn how to cook and sell the food. So in this building, other side right now, I'm looking for the door to close the door so the children who are recorded right now can be inside and is very scared with the COVID. Kids, they don't have a place to eat in the street. So that's the good work and it really is very successful. The community is so excited. The people try to bring more children to me and I say, please, let us finish first. So the work is being successful. I believe, Elizabeth, through each one who's listening to us, to be honest, we push elephant together. And nothing in the earth is making me happy in my survive. God, I'm so thankful. God, I did not wasting my time. I can pay back accordingly for what God have done to me. God saved my life. God saved my children. God, my kids are in a good place. Why not? I cannot try to save one to make a difference in this community. This community are dying for poverty. This community is not really because why do really killing one another? Poverty is killing them. They need development. So after this, soon I'm going to try to build the school so the kids can have a future. How to raise the kids. No mother want to see her children die, have a potential without to fulfill his potential in this earth. That's why Rose Mapendo Foundation is very working hard. I believe in that me through all of us, like people like you who are supporting it. You don't know how much this is supporting. And thank you, everyone. And really, I ask everyone, we have a website. Anyone who feel to close one door, it can be so hurtful. God, we bless. That's most the work I'm doing. And I'm so excited. I don't know. I feel like crazy. And thank you very much. That's the work we are doing.
Thank you, Rose. And Rose just mentioned that they have a website. I've pasted the website into the chat for those who are interested in hearing more about the work that Rose is doing. And Rose, I really love what you said about how, how can you talk about peace when people's bellies aren't full? And that the importance of meeting the most basic needs before being able to fulfill to look at the bigger picture.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm going to open it up now to questions. And Elizabeth, you beat me to it. I was about to put the website in the chat box. So if anybody has any specific questions that they would like to ask, you can either unmute yourself or put it in the chat box and I'll be happy to read it.
I'll ask a question. Hi, my name is Eliza. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm here. Thank you so much. This was incredibly moving and so important for all of us to hear from you and to learn about. And as you said, both of you had said, we share a certain level of connection as a community of people who are certainly third generation or second generation or survivors of genocide, but certainly you're sharing your firsthand account with us, which is very moving. And I would love to hear from you what you feel as a Jewish community, we can do to further tell your story, because I don't know if most of us on this call had ever really heard stories like yours before. It's certainly not being taught in our schools. I don't even know if it's being taught in the public schools, but is that part of your work? Are you helping spread that message in general in the education system in America?
Yes. Okay. Since Can you explain more, Elizabeth?
Sure. So, Eliza, thank you for the question. And what Eliza is asking, first of all, she thanked you for telling the story and reminded us that most people in our community don't know the story that you tell, the story about civil war and genocide in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And she asked, what can this community do, since it's not being taught in schools, what can this community do to help teach people about your story?
So thank you very much. And thank you also for asking that question. Let me say, first of all, even right now, you are helping me to tell the story. And please help me to tell your community how my people Banyamulenge have no place to live. There is kids who are 10 years old, he never went to the elementary school because of the war. And they helped me to tell people, how can we do? I believe the Jewish people, when the first speech I went was in California, was a Passover, exactly same situation you have been through Hitler killed the 6 million Jewish people, is exactly what happened to Banyamulenge. That's why when I speak to you guys, I don't know, sorry to say like that, when I speak to you, and your story is, I can very connect, same situation, and thank you for not giving up. And help people also, please, I ask each one of you to forgive your enemy. Because the forgiveness does not do anything with somebody you forgive. Forgiveness, it helps yourself to prepare your way, to create the love. If somebody hates you and you hate the person, you become same. What will be the difference? To tell this story is not for granted, it's just me happy to tell the story. I wish somebody can get it and change his life. As you are people of God, life we have now is temporary. Prepare the life of a future, eternal life. Where we will spend eternal life, we will arrange eternal life when we see this air. If because I said that most people, what happened to them, they're still holding. Please, I wish each one to be free. I wish prepare your children to the good future. Put the enemy, not to be like them. This will make me my happy, very happy. If this story can touch somebody and they just let it go. Why we keep maybe hatred? Something decade happened to us. Some people say, never, ever, ever forget and never, ever, ever forgive. We should not be like that. My friend, my dads, my aunts who are there, let us prepare this. And please, your community, if you want to be the school for me in my country, it's going to be helpful too. I can name after your synagogue, and yeah. I think it's not that much money as I can make that myself. I can name Elizabeth Mandel family or somebody. I want to see my village, have your school in my village or hospital. We can push the elephant. This will be the best message to me. But to be honest, I don't force anyone. Please, even now, it's so helpful to me. Just share my story. It's not me. It's God's story. To be honest, I don't look like I am an owner that this story. Because to be honest, I'm not lying. If anyone, God can open it to see where I was, it's an amazing to see I am still alive. It's an amazing how God can work. Exactly like how God, you work from a desert, from Egypt, 40 years without shoes in your feet. People say, God who saved my life. I can do his work until my last breath to do his work. I'm not coming to sleep. God bless you.
And I'd love to just add to that. The title of the film and what Rose is talking about is pushing the elephant, which comes from a phrase that we heard Rose say in the film, but that as we were making it, we heard her say so often, which is one person alone can't push an elephant, but many people working together can push an elephant, which I think is also something that really resonates with our community and the idea of kehila and what a kehila can do together. And, you know, Eliza, I also thank you for asking the question. And the other thing I could say is, you know, we have this film which tells the story, and we would be so grateful if you would, if you would share it with people. You know, it was one of the goals of making the film was to help this story be told to as wide an audience as possible. So, you know, I do ask that people share the story, and I think it's really important for us, particularly as a Jewish community, to recognize and teach and learn about and be invested in genocidal wars, because it is a shared history.
Just a couple of questions that are in the chat. David Statmeyer wants to ask, and I think, Rose, I'm also very taken by this part of your message. How can you forgive people that killed your husband and your brothers without seeking justice and punishment? And I think that's a question many of us want to understand. Where's the balance between forgiving people who did these terrible things, but also sort of a sense of restoring justice or maybe punishment, you know, in the world as well?
Thank you very much for asking. I think in the beginning, in the prison, there is many time I was going to take my life, because the situation was worse. As a mother, not have a cloth, not have even toothbrush, not have even bags to put in cement, not have even lice was everywhere. And I was pregnant. No one day have a vaccine. After my husband see my kids was going to be killed, as I watching the film, I exchanged my daughter to my son, who was going to be hanged in the tree. So in those situations, I went to pray in the bush. Forgiveness does not come easily. I went to pray in the bush. When they will come, we was on the guns 24 hours. My forgiveness, my prayer, I felt not that I have to take my own life. There is many times my heart was telling me, take your life is the only way you can be happy. And I was thinking as a mother, how can I take my life, leaving my children in the prison, who's going to be there? And also, how can I take my life and lose eternal life? As I was arguing sometime when I saw the soldier come to take somebody and kill them, and I will say, I feel my heart, you will be the next. But my mouth, I will say, no, I will not die. Actually, our tongue is very powerful. But in the end, when the pregnancy was 8 months, and I began to feel my hip, where I sat, the skin began to come out. I could not sleep this side in the cement. I cannot sleep this side. I decided to go. I said, I felt I was going to die no matter what. And I said, I don't want to die angry. I want to die with free. So I went to the bush to pray. Sorry to take it that long. To make that, just I want to be clear how I become to the forgive. So when I was in the bend my knees, ask God, I said, God, I am going to die. Please, can you? I know, God. I was arrested because of how I look like. I was blaming you. You are the one who caused me to be a Tutsi, because to be who I am is not a criminal. If these people was killing me because of how I look like, do I have a choice? That is my arguing with God, say, hey, you don't care about me. So, and I remember those stories, how Job in the Bible, was suffering, take everything, but he never blaming God in the story. And how about me? There is many things, and I pray, and God told me, say, forgive your enemy. It's without, when you don't forgive somebody, God will never forgive you. As I was praying, I was like, God, forgive you who? Say, forgive your enemy. It did not come easily. Begin to think the story. That's how my forgiveness come. I look who I am and what I said to God. Actually, it was, I said, God, there is many people who die not even blaming you. And God, people make a choice to kill people, not you send the people to kill, you make a life. And that moment, I was very easy looking myself, not even think about my enemy. So I should be more patient. And I say, God, because I want to die free, I forgive my capture. To be honest, when I forgive my friend, is the day I survive. Actually, angry is very highly contagious. Very highly contagious. Most victim who was paying the consequence of anger was my children. When kids cry for hungry, and my anger said, you don't know why the situation we are is a child. You don't know. Should be more, but because I was angry, nothing good could come to my mouth. So that's where my forgiveness, and I forgive and I forgot, never angry for those people. People make a choice. And this earth, there is two people, not there is bad people and good people. I believe through Tutsi, there is good people and bad people. So I cannot blame all the Congolese, no matter what. There is somebody in the prison who contributed for us to be survived. So if I revenge, what is the difference for those people who kill me? That's, I forgive them and say, no one. I will say, I came from that place, new person, feel like a rock fell from my shoulder. I feel peace. I feel freedom. I said, no way, any day I complain about a death. I say, if I don't die today, I'm going to die tomorrow too. If I don't die today, tomorrow I will die. Telling my friend, encourage them, say, don't give up. Give up is not an option. Don't give up when you still. Actually, in the prison was a miracle. God, he did the miracle in my eyes. One of my children passed away because I give avocado. I did not have any food to give the baby. I give you avocado, but I pray for water. This is what is now. What is the blood of Jesus? Can you hear my child? Imagine how many IV they put somebody who's dying from diarrhea, but drop from that cup. God, he was one of my twins alive. He was already passed out to try to touch. That's is a lot of miracle God done, and it making me say how God is powerful. He can do anything. That God, don't look at the small picture. Don't look at the small thing. These people are dying. The people that kill you, and people already die too. So that was my forgiveness. It was amazing because I was a new person. I love a woman. When I forgive and I named my capture, guess what? Who take an action was the wife. Wife, she get the message. That's how we was afraid. The freedom come from the name to free us. It come from the name I named my twins. They said nobody can kill this stupid mother name our commanders. We have a small time and maybe, I don't know how to answer that question, but it was an amazing experience. Being angry, try to take your life, and being free from angry. It wasn't a good experience. I wish everybody, don't look, they kill somebody anyway, they die, those people too. I hope you get it.
I mean, Rose, what's been so important for me all of these years of hearing you tell your story and hearing you tell it again now is that the forgiveness was for yourself. It wasn't for them. It was to free yourself.
Yes.
It wasn't to give them the gift of forgiveness. It was to give yourself the gift of taking that weight and rock off of your shoulders and releasing you from the anger and the pain. And it's still very remarkable. It's still very remarkable because I think that
the freedom is what helped me to raise children as a widow.
Yeah.
The freedom, I know who I am. God, He with me is my side anyway, But those people die. Freedom doesn't not do anything for somebody to forgive. It's for yourself and your family.
And it's still very hard it's one of the remarkable things about you. Forgiveness is very, very hard.
I know it is.
Yeah. Especially for the kinds of things that we're talking about.
To be honest, if I forgive those people who put me, sister, some, I don't know, as you make a film to the message people want to hear. But people, they come to the house, take everything, say, put your hands on. You lose your identity, you lose your family, you see your family are being killed. Take one by one. Kill your own husband, your friend. Kill children from starvation. Torture children, rape the women. If I forgot, I forgive them, you can do it. Anyone can do it.
Thank you so much. That was really I really don't have any words to say about what you just shared with us. I have a couple of other comments here. One person wants to know, have you thought about speaking in the United States? Do you go around to schools and share this in schools?
Yes, anyone who open. Most of the people invite people when people watch a film and want to invite me. I have an invitation to go to Holland. I went to Canada, and also we cancel with the COVID. We cancel one appointment. And many people invite me to go to speak in the school. As Elizabeth, he knows. Yeah. Each one, that's why exactly. I wish any opportunity I have to share this story is not a mean to make money, is to free one person in their life so we can live in harmony. When we love one another, where we forgive each other, there is nothing better in this earth to live with peace.
Thank you. Susan Abrams, I'm gonna call on you in 1 second, but I'm just gonna read something that Yonina Siegel here shared. January 27th is International Holocaust Day, commemorated on the date of the liberation of Auschwitz at the United Nations and across the globe in programs to combat intolerance, hate, and to prevent future acts of genocide. We should consider tonight's program as part of this commemoration. So thank you, Rose. And then Susan Abrams wanted to know if she could ask a question. So if you want to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm sure we all do, but I especially hear your pain. So I hope I'll apologize ahead of time in case I'm lengthening it at the moment. How did you get released from prison? Your entire family? What's happening there now for the family and friends that are still there, that you're building the school for? How are they existing? And most importantly, I guess, is how were you able to escape and to emigrate to the States?
Thank you very much for the question. How we fled from the prison? Actually, we never have an opportunity for any Red Cross or United Nations where we was in a military base, but it was through that miracle. When I was in prison, when at the time it killed us to finish end of us, the soldiers, because of my kids, one have two of them, one I named the commander of the city, other one I named commander of military, the highest. So they come together, say, the mom named this young boy. And there is like, we have, who's going to kill? In the culture, you can never name your child after enemy. Actually, they told me in the history, no one can name her children after her enemy. So I named them to try to save my children's life, and also to tell them I'm not your enemy, and also to tell them I forgive you. So because a woman, one commanders, she accepted, she embraced the name. She brought one big hearty and one bread. And she has one piece like this for me to cover my bottom, because 16 months, they never even buy a pyjama for us. Never even buy toothbrush for us. We have a lice everywhere. The clothes was almost, I carried the umbilical cord with the twins, with the wood in the prison, with a small candle. So when the woman, she heard I named her husband, she come to embrace the name. She come to the prison, she told me, say, Rose, she did not, they used to call me children of snake, cockroach, but in that moment, she called me a mom. That's this message. I told people, say, change negative people with positive message. You can never change negative person when you still negative. You change a negative person when you are positive. That message, the woman, when time comes to kill us, they say, we cannot kill these children here. They manage to take us, put us in the airplane. They send us to the capital. So place they can kill us, that name, it does not mean anything to them. They will feel guilty. They say we will feel guilty for the rest of our life if we kill the children who was named after us. That's the first step for God to release us. I named my twins without knowing what is going. The first step is for us, but the most rest is for God. So that's that question. Another, my people right now, they're really still suffering because our neighbors still have that face. Say, these people, they are not belonging to us. Take the cow, burn the churches, just try. And the people in my country, they say, we will not live. We don't have other place to live. We was divided by border. So the situation is still there, but that's why we have a lot of work to do to try to change the people. Actually, my presence, when I go there, they really not even know how to explain. We heard Americans looking like heaven to us. How can you come here? And I tell them, I've been here. I've been there. This is a situation you experience. So we try to help them. That's how women embrace me. In my country situation, but I believe with the hope, with the hard work, with the provide the food for children, provide the school, there is going to be change. For me, I have a hope 100%. God is going to do it. Same God who saved me is going to save them and they give it better life. My friend, please forgive me when I talk. I feel like I'm so happy and I feel a lot of energy and I have so many things to say. I wish to satisfy, but to have a small time. Please, I ask, I apologize for that. So,
Thank you. So I think everyone here is just so taken by you, Rose, and I'm going to be so bold to say that I hope that when this is all over, I'm extending an invitation for you to come to our synagogue so that we can hear from you in person and learn from you again.
Thank you very much.
Because you're really a special person. So thank you.
Thank
Any other questions? And one person wanted to say, never apologize for Chalchivas, where your emotion is really, it's good for us to hear. Okay, so with that, I think I'm going to conclude. Thank you, everybody who joined us. Again, this was the second in a series of TRM's Global Journeys. There will be some, in February, we'll be hosting a speaker from Spain, and in March from Uzbekistan. And Rose, I think just all of us want to thank you so much for sharing your story with us and your important message. And I'm sure many of us are going to be checking your foundation as soon as we get off. I know I already have it in my browser to click on. And I think a few of us, I already texted with one friend thinking about other places where we could have your story be heard and places where you could speak. And Elizabeth, thank you so much also for joining us and for bringing this story and this movie to the world. And I just want to, wish you that God gives you much more strength and blessing to bring this important voice and work forward into the world, and that you should just be given much success from God.
Thank you so much. I truly appreciate it for each one patient to listen to me, because it really, I don't take this for granted. And I thank you, Elizabeth, and your family, your mom, doing this, pushing the elephant together. This name making a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
And I thank everyone, each one, there is a reason you are here. And I wish everything you need, God protect you as he does always. And God give all you need. And also God give peace in Israel. When I pray, I cannot stop to pray for Israel, because I've been there. I know how, like exactly people come attack them. It's like exactly my people. Some try, people say we come from Ethiopia. We don't know even. Please keep us pray together. God is the one who can be able to change the situation and give peace in a country. God bless you. And I really appreciate it for everything.
Thank you. Thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
Everyone can unmute themselves if they want to personally say thank you or say hello to each other. Now's your opportunity to do so.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless.
Thank you. Barbara Rask,
Thank you.
aspiring to achieve the level of faith that you have, Rose.
Thank you so much.
Rose,
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
Thank you.
it is so touching. Your story is so touching. I watched the movie twice and
Wow.
I still tear up when I hear your story. And
Thank you.
it's just very admirable that you have so much faith and you still have hope after everything that you went
Yes.
through. It's
Yes.
really wonderful. It's good to hear it. It's very encouraging and empowering to everybody who listens to you. Thank
very
you.
much. Thank you. God bless.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, beautiful Rose. Thank you for everything. Thank you for being in our hearts. Thank you for including Elizabeth and all of us in your family and in your story. And
Thank you.
continue to inspire the world. We love you.
Thank you. Love you too. Thank you too. Thank you, Elizabeth. Dad, hug.
Hug.
You
Hug.
have strong
Gotta
daughters.
hug ourselves.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to end it. Rose, I hope we'll meet again. And I
Yes.
really hope I get to meet you in person and speak to you again.
Yes. God bless you.
Yes, I hope I see you soon.
Oh, I see.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a few other comments here, Rose. Thank you, Rose. That was very powerful. You should be blessed, from Rabbi Wald. Natalie Dweck wrote here, thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you very much for doing that. God bless.
Okay, I'm going to close out. Bye, everybody.